as possible. Then exhale consciously. And while doing pranayama, make sure your mind is focused on the breath, not allowed to wander anywhere. And physical body should be relaxed. So when you do this systematically, following all the steps, your mind will quieten very quickly. Now practice this a few times. Now, with a quietened mind, one should do nididhyasanam. Upasana, dhyanam done after studying Vedanta Shastras, where you focus on Upanishad mantras which point to the Brahma Tattvam as absolute reality. Understand Brahman is called nididhyasanam. The process is to internalize the meaning that has been understood intellectually. That is the message of the Upanishads. Sarvam khalvidam brahma tat jalaniti shanta upasita. So shanta upasita with a quietened mind. Upasita, do upasana, do nididhyasanam on Brahman. As what? Sarvam khalvidam. Verily all around us. Sarvam. All around us. Khalu, verily, the only absolute reality is Brahman. From this absolute reality arises the relatively real universe. That's why Brahman is called Tat Jalan. Tat Brahma. This Vishwam, this universe undergoes Srishti Sthiti Layam, creation, sustenance, dissolution. So, by its very nature, the universe is dependent on Brahman for existence, has no existence of its own. So, it has no absolute reality, it is only relatively real. So, the message is one should not get unnecessarily disturbed with the happenings of the relatively real universe, which includes our own physical body and mind and thoughts. So, this has to be reiterated again and again because just by understanding once, it is not able to penetrate into the depth of our minds. Every now and then, when we start interacting the world, our mind gets totally absorbed with what's happening, goes through ups and downs. So, unless it's constantly reiterated such that it becomes second nature, that Brahman is only reality and happenings around the world, including my body and mind and thought, should not affect me. Let's reiterate it many times. It won't be able to be absorbed totally. And to understand the vastness, all pervading nature of Brahman, another Upanishad mantra points out wonderfully. Brahmaivedam amritam purastat, Brahma paschat, Brahma dakshinataschottareణ, adhaschordhamscha prasritam. Brahmaivedam Vishwamidam Varishtam. Only absolute reality around us, all around us, Varishtam is Brahman, which is present in front of us, behind us, to right, left, below, everywhere. Antar Bahishcha Tatsarvam Yapya Narayana Sthitaha. And this Brahman, which is of the nature of absolute existence, absolute consciousness, absolute bliss, Sat Chit Ananda Swarupam. Upanishad mantras point out is also your own true nature. It makes our Nijidhyasanam more easier and powerful by focusing on our own true self. How do I identify my true nature? By looking inward, understanding that without the presence of true consciousness, absolute consciousness within us, none of the actions of the physical body or the mind can happen. And this pure consciousness within us is totally unaffected by anything happening to the physical body or the mind. So one has to look inward. Upanishad mantra points out wonderfully. Ashariram sharireshu anavastveshvavasthitam mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhiro na shochati. Sharireshu ashariram. Within this physical body, sharireshu ashariram, there is another great principle which doesn't have any of the qualities of matter principle of the physical body. That's a pure consciousness principle. The enabler of the physical body, but unaffected by the physical body. Anavastheshvavasthitam, present in all the three states of experience of the mind, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. But experiences of the mind in these three states do not affect pure consciousness principle, which is my true nature. So, what is the message? If I can identify with my true nature, I will remain unaffected by anything happening to my physical body, mind, and so on and so forth with respect to the entire universe. Nothing in the world can affect my mind. That's why this knowledge of this pure consciousness principle, which is Tam Mahan, the greatest principle, Vibhum, the most glorious principle. Where is it? Atmanam, your own true nature. What you should do? Matva. Tamevam vidwan amritaha iha bhavati. Understand. Systematically Vedanta Shastras, constantly, consistently with commitment. Then what happens? Dhiraha, the spiritual aspirant, sadhaka. So, hero. So, अशरीरं शरीरेषु अनमस्तेषु स्थितं महान्तं विभुमात्मानं मत्वा धीरः न शोचति, goes beyond all sorrows, establishes in supreme bliss, which is nothing but moksham or immortality. So, knowledge of this absolute reality of one's own true nature bestows immortality. So, let's see how Bhagavan is going to take us systematically on the path to understand our true nature. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvighnam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Shaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshina Murtaye Namaha सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् पुत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्महम् ॐ All stand. The six slokas focusing on Jnanam, very important. Shri Gurubhyo Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Shri Saraswatye Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Shri Bhagavanuvacha Teshamevanukampartham Ahamajnanajam Tamaha Nashayamyatmabhavasthaha Jnanadipena Bhasvata Jyotishamapि Tajyotihi तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितं न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् येषां नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानम् प्रकाशयति तत्परम् यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुतेऽर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणम् तमाहुः पंडितं बुधाः ओम शांति 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 Now let's stand the five important shlokas with respect to matter principle. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् मत्तः परतरं नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशेऽर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्रारूढानि मायया. Oh, remember this ultimate message of the Upanishads. प्रपंचो यदि विद्येत निवर्तेत न संशयः मायामात्रमिदं द्वैतम् अद्वैतं परमार्थतः. ओम शांति शांति शांति. Now let's stand. Yam Brahmas, straight on cameras, chant loudly. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stumanti Dimyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopaniषदैर्गायन्ति yam samagaः ध्यानावस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ श्रीकृष्णाय परमात्मने नमः अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता सप्तदशोऽध्यायः दैवासुरसम्पद्विभागयोगः ॐ नारायणः परो व्यक्तात् अण्डमं व्यक्तसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्मि मे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपा च मेदिनी ॐ Now let's stand sloka number 7 and then 8. So chapter number 16, 7 and 8. Shri Bhagavanuvacha pravrittincha nivrittincha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham napi chacharaha na satyam teshu vidyate. Sloka number 8. Shri Bhagavanuvacha asathyamapratisthante jagadahuranishwaram aparasparasambhutam kimanyat kamahaitukam. Also chant 9 and 10. Shri Bhagavanuvacha etam dristimavashtabhya nashtatmanolpabuddhayaha प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः. नंबर 10. काममाश्रित्य दुष्पूरम् दम्भमानामदान्विताः मोहात् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hartam Swagatam, hearty welcome to the next session on summary series from Bhagavad Gita. We are now doing chapter number 16, Shodashodhyayaha. Shodashodhyayaha, Daivaasura Sampat Vibhaga Yogaha. And in this chapter, Bhagavan is explaining by default how people are bestowed with certain natural tendencies, which are either Daivi Sampat or Asuri Sampat. Daivi Sampat are divine qualities, Asuri Sampat are demonic qualities. And so, what is the focus of this chapter? One should strive as much as possible to acquire the Daivi Sampat. And if there are any possibilities of Asuri Sampat having crept into us, we should remove them. And so Bhagavan is explaining the Asuri Sampat in more detail. How do they act? So if these kind of actions you see amongst people, then you can easily make out that they are what? By default with Asuri Sampat, demonic nature. So demons doesn't mean only people who have got no some kind of horn or no what you see in the Puranas. People can be normal, the way we are all dressed. It's all the mind. Please understand. Okay, now what do people with demonic qualities do? Sloka number 10. Ashritya dushpuram kamam. Dushpuram means what? Insatiable, never-ending desires. So desire is called kamaha in Sanskrit, kama in English, never ends, continuous. So insatiable dushpuram, purayati iti puram. So what is fulfilled is puram, dushpuram, insatiable desires, taking to insatiable desires. Dambhamana, dambhamana madanvitaha. So they are full of, as usual, Bhagavan is now reiterating pretension. That means what? To achieve their desires, they put on pretensions, and then vanity and haughtiness, all those things. Grihitva, holding on to Asatgrahan, wrong views. Means what? They don't bother about Dharma Shastram, what is right, what is wrong. For them, achieving their desire is the only goal. So they may even hold on to wrong views and justify those wrong views. How many people justify all their bad habits? So some people take the bad habits and then they justify their bad habits. Have you seen? There are so many classic examples which I don't want to quote. They will justify that also because of moha, due to delusion. Pravartante. They continue to act, do actions. Ashuchivrataha, with a resolve that is not pure, impure resolve. So, the goal is only to achieve their desires. They'll justify whatever they are doing, and they will not what care about taking to wrong methodology, impure resolve. That means what? That doesn't develop purity in their mind. So what happens now? You see, it's a vicious cycle. Just because I got a desire to fulfill, and that desire may not be the right desire, I take the wrong path, and I continue in that path and justifying. A lot of people will say that what you're doing is wrong, but we will justify that, and then finally what happens? Our own mind gets further affected, and so what? Further it increases the delusion, moham, and the spiral is never ending. So one should be careful. So you say nip it in the bud. As soon as some kind of thought that arises in the mind that could take us in the wrong direction, we have to nip it in the bud and so seek the right approach. So knowledge of Dharma Shastram is very important. That's why towards the end, Bhagavan is going to point out how Shastras are going to be very important. And what happens? Once a person is full of desires, that too not the right desires, and more often than not, it won't get fulfilled. Correct? All the desires, even good desires, don't get fulfilled. What about what? Wrong desire. So what happens? Once desire is not fulfilled, mind is full of anxiety. Yes or no? Mind is very anxious. I need to achieve that. I need to get that. The thought is there deep in the mind. So there's a lot of anxiety. This anxiety and depression is there or not in the mind of people? Yes or no? Anxious about what is going to happen. Will I get it? I have got this to be achieved. And depression about what? Something happened which we are not happy with. And so this anxiety and depression will continue to haunt these people. So sloka number 11. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Chintam Aparimeyancha Layantam Upashritaha Kamopabhoga Paramaha Etabaditi Nischitaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now you see, normally, if you are a dharmic person, yes, everybody has got some desires. So you can have dharmic desire also. Because Bhagavan has already told earlier that that desire is not opposed to dharma. I am that dharma. Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Write down here as a reference. So we will try, and if it is achieved, fine. If not achieved, then we will give up the desire because we are dharmic people. Whereas these people are adharmic people. So what happens to them? Upashritaha, given to. It means what? This kind of thought becomes a second nature. Uparimeyam cha pralayantam. Pralayantam means till their end of life. Here, pralaya doesn't mean the end of the world. Respect to the existence of the physical individual. Uparimeyam means very deep. So, given to deep and till the end of life, lifelong chintam, anxiety. Look at this anxiety every day from morning to night. It's anxious, right? Some people you have seen always in tension, always anxious, right? Morning to night, not just one day, day after day, day after day, day after day. How much is going to hurt the individual mind? Think about it. All because of the desire that I want to fulfill, which may not be the right desire. And this chintam is what anxiety, worries. Hmm? Kamopabhoga paramaha. And why? Because they are holding on Kama Upabhoga Paramaha. Paramaha means they are holding that as the highest. What? Kama Upabhoga. So, Kama means sense objects. For them, sense objects, sense pleasure is the highest goal. And holding on to enjoyment of sense organ. Have you not seen so many people going behind all this? Different sense pleasures. Finally, what? Getting demolished. So, normally they say different types of animals with only one deficiency they get destroyed. See, the firefly, just because it is attracted by the eyes, it goes to fire and it dies. Similarly, we talk about the deer, only the smell. Each and every, there are five different animals. You all know the story, right? But human beings have got all five sense organs. Very easily you can get destroyed. If one goes, another one will take over. So how much important is to extend or make sure that extensively we have control over our sense organs. So throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan rated Indriya Nigraha, Mano Nigraha, very important. So because of their what? Kamopa Bhoga Paramaha, underline the word. Sense pleasures is the highest for them in the world. So they were ready to give up everything for that. Even dharma, they'll give up for that. So lifelong anxiety. Why people have different kinds of other also no physical disease, or no mental pressure also finally results in what? Blood pressure, that so many other problems, or no. So first what they say, reduce your anxiety, hypertension, right? So lifelong anxiety. So what is the antidote for this? Follow dharma, do your duty, try your best. If it happens, fine. Doesn't happen, Ishwaro Rakshito. So you should be able to accept. This acceptance normally doesn't come so easily. Yes or no? You don't accept. No, 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 no. I should be. That person has got it, so I should get it. Start comparing. Please do not compare. Comparison is the worst thing. Comparison of individual with respect to another person. Even children, don't compare your children to other children. Because what happens? They'll develop a different kind of complex over a period of time. So unnecessarily be a problem. Each one is born with their own capabilities. Each individual is gifted in their own way. Use that, follow the right dharma, and then whatever you get, you accept. So, but these people are not able to accept it. So they continue to hold enjoyment of sense pleasures, sense objects is the highest goal. And why? Very important. Underline these two words. Nischitaha iti etavat. Nischitaha. They are very convinced that life is all about this much alone. Achieving our desires. We are born, we grow, we get desires. We have to fulfill the desires at any cost. And that is the goal of life. So, what? They say, no, that whatever happens, you try and achieve your goal. That is what they want to do. So, lifelong aim is to fulfill their what? Sensual pleasures and focus on enjoyment of sense objects. Life is only meant for that. And so, how do they live? What is their lifestyle? Shloka number 12. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Asha Pasha Shatair Baddhaha Kama Krodha Parayanaha ईहन्ते कामभोगार्थम् अन्यायेनार्थसञ्चयान् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So, baddhaha. So, once you are chasing a goal which is driven by desire, and still if this desire is not dharmic, what happens? You get bound. Please understand, any desire is a binding agent. How does it bind? Your mind gets bound, right? I need to achieve that. So your mind is bound. So bound by what? Asha pasha shataihi. Hundreds of expectations, not one or two. Are we all okay with just no basic one or two expectations? Okay, Bhagavan, just give me a proper life. proper food to eat. Okay? Annapane cha sarvada tatho me shriyamavaha. What is the prayer? Wonderfully in the Upanishad. Yschandasa mrishabho vishwarupaha Chandobhyodhyamrutat sambabhuva Vimendro medhaya sprunoto Amrutasya devadharano bhuyasum shariram me vicharshanam Jihva me madhumattama Karnabhyam bhuri vishrubam Brahmana कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय आवहन्ति वितन्माना कुर्वाणाचीरमात्मनः वासागुंसि मम गावश्च अन्नपाने च सर्वदा तथो मे श्रियमावह Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This also is a desire oriented prayer only. This Vedic mantra, chanted. So when we people attended Taittiriya Upanishad will have understood, but anyway, just briefly I'll tell you, this is also desire-oriented prayer. But for what? Whole prayer is centered around the desire to understand Brahma Tattvam, understand Brahman, Brahmana Koshosi Medhaya Apihitaha. To understand Brahman, let me have a strong body, let all my sense organs work properly because I need to listen to Shastras, I need to see properly, all those things. For that, I need a proper house to live. Vasagum sima magavascha annapane cha sir. For that, to the extent, whatever food and water I require, please bestow me. Hey Bhagwan, that is a prayer. Are you okay with this? If you're okay with this, the world, they say, sir, if we don't have desires, we don't have desire to acquire things, what will happen to all the industry? Who will buy all the cars? Who will buy all the mobiles? Who will buy all the different gadgets that are there? So that's how we justify, right? We are giving employment to other people by buying them. That's why Vedic way of life was simple living, high thinking. So these people, what happens? Asha Pasha Shataihi, hundreds of expectations, and once you start, it is never ending. Please understand. Sooner we get control over this, better, never ending. So Kama Krodha Parayanaha. So desire, once desire is unfulfilled, what happens? Frustration increases. Frustration, anger. Yes or no? Desire and anger are two sides of the same coin. Unfulfilled desire becomes anger. Kama Krodha Parayanaha. Bhagavan has repeated many times throughout the Gita. And so what? Ihante, they seek Artha Sanchayan. So hoarding of wealth. Artham means here wealth. Sanchayan means keep on. Sanchita karma. Do you remember? Sanchita karma means what? Hoarding of all our karmas. So here, Artha Sanchayan means what? Hoarding all the wealth. We don't want to keep on acquiring as much wealth as possible. But will any of the wealth come with us when we leave the world? Think about it. What will come with us? Only dharma, punyam, also adharmam, what papam you have done. So please understand. Yes, wealth is required, but should not be by unholy means, not holding wealth. And so, anyayena artha sanchayan. Right? Anyayena, unrighteous means. All for what? Kama bhoga, tham, only for enjoyment of sense pleasure. So that's why simple living is what is recommended. And so the prayer also in the Vedas is for basic health, physical health, sense organs should be proper. Simple lifestyle is what we pray. But here, people who are Asuri Sampat, their expectations, their desires are hundreds, and all for enjoyment of sense objects. And so today, what is the beginning of Kali Yuga? Already there are so many agencies for different sense objects. Imagine in another 500 years, 1000 years, 5000, how it will be. Oh, what should do? This life itself, try and get jnanam, moksham. Very important. Now, so what will happen? As they move towards fulfillment of many desires, what will happen? Some small desires will get fulfilled. And so they'll say, yes, this is done. So next. Let me keep moving. Yes or no? See? So they'll say, they'll also tell other people, other people will be saying, don't chase all these desires. They'll go and tell, no, you see, this is done. So next I will do. Like, no, some people want to buy different kind of car, different kind of house, whatever they got. So this is done. Next, next, next. So Bhagavan says they also go systematically. So people who are dedicated to dharma and jnana, what you should do? We study Bhagavad Gita. Next, we'll study Kathopanishad. Then Taittiriya Upanishad. Like we'll keep on studying more and more Shastras. For them, it is more and more different things. Look at the difference here. So sloka number 13. Sri Bhagawanuvacha Idamadhyamaya labdham imam prapchye manoratham idamaspidamapi me bhavishyati punardhanam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Idam labdham. This has been obtained. So, what will happen? By law of probability, some things will work out, some desires will be fulfilled. So, this has been obtained. This desire has been fulfilled. Maya Adya. Adya means today. Today, by me, this has been fulfilled. So, target one is achieved. So, what I'll do? Prapsye. I shall attain. Imam Manoratham. Next, desired object. Manoratham means what? Desired object, which has been thought through. I will attain that. Me asti idam dhanam. So I have so much wealth now. People have worked and got whatever wealth, the desire is to acquire wealth. And what they say? Bhavishyati idamapi punaha. So there'll be this much more later. Whatever is there now, it will double, triple, 4 times. Will keep on increasing. So they say very clearly that I need to keep on multiplying. Once again, please understand, Vedas don't deride wealth. Wealth is required for dharmic living. Dhanat dharmam tata sukham. Write down. With dhanam, dharmam, follow dharma. Because even to dharma anushthan, we need proper environment, proper setup around you. So dhanat dharmam. Then only sukham, permanent happiness will come. So these people want to only multiply the wealth, multiply their desires, fulfill more and more desires. So in the process, if they have to achieve their desires, what will happen? There'll be impediments. There'll be people opposing. What you should do? You should overcome them. Yes or no? So people will have to be overcome. So they say, look at number 14. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asau Maya Hata Shatruhu Hanishye Chaparanapi Ishvarohamaham Bhogi Siddhoham Balavan Sukhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So these kind of people, Asuric people, have you not seen in Puranas? Go back to all the Puranas. That's why in every yuga, wonderful Puranas are showing pairs of what? Asuras. Satya Yuga, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. Then in Treta Yuga, Ravana, Kumbhakarna. In Dwapara Yuga, Kamsa, Jarasandha, etc. etc. In Kali Yuga, there are many. So, Swamiji used to say, the pair of Asuras, pair of demons, is an indication of the pair of problems, Kama and Krodha. Kama, Krodha is an indication. See, all the Puranas can be understood at different levels. One is physically people are there, demons like this and doing all those wrong things. Then Vishnu came down, destroyed them. These Asuras are within us as Kama, Krodha. Kama, Krodha. We should work hard in this life, remove Kama, Krodham, get Jnanam, and Mahavishnu destroyed the Asuras. Through Jnanam, we should destroy all our bad qualities and get Jnanam. That is the spiritual message of the Puranas. So here what they do, Asau Shatruhu, this rival. So anybody who is impeding their progress becomes a rival. Yes or no? That person may be a dharmic person. Also, they don't care. So this rival, Asau Shatruhu, Hataha maya. So I have destroyed. So they destroy certain people who are opposing their desire orientation. Hataha maya. So hanishe. I shall further destroy what? Aparana picha. Any more people who come in my way. At any cost, I will attain my desires. And what? Aham Ishvaraha. I am the Lord. So for them, there is no Bhagavan. Have you not seen? Hiranyakashipu, what did he say? He told everybody not even to chant Mahavishnu's name, yes or no? Chant only my name, because I am Bhagavan. Similarly, Ravana never listened to anybody. So all the Puranas are there. And it is playing out in different way in Kali Yuga, except that people may be in different attire. They may not be in that kind of attire. Okay. So, Aham Ishvaraha, I am the Lord. Aham Bhogi, I am the enjoyer. And what? Because Aham Siddhaha, I am very successful. Do you not see around you people who are adharmic? They can go to any extent to prove even their whatever so-called wrong things are not wrong. And there are people also to support them. Have you not seen? You can see very much in your presence. So there, there are people who declare themselves to be supreme because they are able to enjoy everything and they are very successful. And what? Balavan and Sukhi. Balavan, very powerful. So physically powerful. Also army of people behind them to support them. Also Sukhi. They have got a lot of this happiness. Sukhi is what? Sense pleasures, comforts, but not the real mental peace. So, and so they are given to boasting tendency. Shloka number 15. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Adhyo Vijanavaanasmi Konyosti Tat Sadrisho Maya Yakshe Dasyami Modishye Ityajnana Vimohitaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Asmi Adhyaha. Adhyaha means very rich. I am now very rich. People with wealth, they flaunt their wealth also. I am very rich. And Abhijanavan. So Adhyo Vijanavan Asmi. Abhijanavan. Abhijanavan means what? Of noble birth. Abhi. Janavan. So I belong to a class of people who are special. I'm a special category person. It means what? Gives them the license to do whatever they want. So the other laws that apply to normal people don't apply to me. That's how they declare themselves. Abhijanavan. Kaha anyaha asti. Who else is there? Sadrishaha maya, equal to me. So I'm the most superior person. There's nobody equal to me. And so, even if people are going to say something wrong about me, what I'll say, they are simply putting accusation against me. Actually, I'm always right. Look at it. That's how they argue. So, there is nobody equal to me. And so, what? Those people in those days, even the Asuras, Ravanasura, also used to do different yajnas. So, Yakshe, I shall perform yajnas. Those days, they used to propitiate. Look at it. They will propitiate the gods for what? You've seen all the Puranas, Itihasas. They will pray, they'll do tapas, they'll do yajna. And so normally Brahmaji or what? Parameshwara will come. Mahavishnu won't come. And they will ask. First thing they'll ask is, give me immortality. And so Brahmaji will say, no, no, no. That you don't ask. Nobody can be immortal. So then they'll ask, okay, they'll put different combination. I should not be killed by this, by that, this, all combinations. But they will leave out one combination. And so what will happen? Who has to come and restore order? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatvanam srijamyaham. Mahavishnu has to come. That's why you see, Mahavishnu never comes to give any of the boons. It is either Brahmaji or Parameshwara. So they perform all these yajnas. And some of them also give charity. Dasyami. And so, for acquiring, it's all not for getting punyam, for getting power, position. And modishe, so that I can rejoice. By all these things, I will rejoice. Iti. Thus, these people are thinking. Ajnana vimohitaha. Two things. Ajnanam, because they don't know dharma, adharma, jnanam, satya, mithya, vivekam, they don't have. Ajnana vimohitaha. Vimohitaha means what? Deluded by. Sheshena mohitaha. Deluded by ignorance. You see, first the desire. So, desire will, more and more desires will basically create a screen on our Viveka Shakti, because your focus is totally to achieve the desires. We don't even think about what I'm doing is right or wrong. Have you seen many times in our pursuit of something, we don't even do a reality check. Am I doing the right thing or not? Some people are there and they proceed. No, single pointed focus. And so, deluded by ignorance. So, kama further and further creates moha, and moha creates ajnanam. Write down. Kama, moha, ajnanam. And once you are steeped in ajnanam, ajnanam further creates kama, and that vicious cycle. You remember, go back to our ebook. Vicious cycle will continue. How important it is to cut it off in the beginning. And so what happens? There don't have just one or two desires. Many, many, many desires. Shloka number 16. Bhagavanumāca aneka chitta vibhrantaha mohajala samamritaha prasakta kama bhogeshu patanti narakeshu chau. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. After Narake, there is a S mark. It's not Narake Shuchau, it's Narake Ashuchau. So underline that properly. So Aneka Chitta Vibhranta. So this is not one or two. Multiple fancies, multiple desires, and they are not got any proper thinking. Chitta Vibhrantaha. Vibhrantaha means confused. Normally, these people actually don't have any clarity. If you go sit down with them and say, why are you chasing all these things? Don't ask me all those things. They'll say, correct? So, they are confused by so many different fancies and desires. And so, what happens? They are always in a net of delusion. So, they are not in the right path. They are not in the dharmic path. They are already what? Mind is completely in moham. That's why Acharya Shankara, when he begins Bhaja Govindam, what does he say? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. So, Mudhamate. So, very important. The mind is foolishly following wrong desires. So, Aneka Chitta Vibhrantaha Moha Jala Samavrtaha. Jala means what? Net. So, just like there are entities getting stuck in a net, these people are in a vicious cycle. That is a net of delusion. See, today you can see all this social media, that what is happening. It is like a net, right? People go and get stuck to it, and then to get out of it, they'll have to employ different kinds of methodologies, or no? How many children, how many people, like in Indrajal, yes, exactly. Yes or no? Or no, elders not facing a problem, children stuck to this. From somewhere it has come and taken over all the minds, and newer things, all virtual. There's nothing, there's no reality to all these things. Is there any reality? Reality is me, what I'm, at least the relative reality is what I'm. That is a virtual reality. They go on and on. So, this net of delusion, Bhagavan has mentioned in what? Dwapara Yuga. It is there as what? Net. Net or not? Internet. The internet. There are delusive forces. So, be aware, encircled. Because today, people cannot be without mobile even for What? 1 hour? Yes or no? As if something is going to be no lost. What is happening? I have to check out. No, check continuously. Huh? Yes or no? And then go on and on and on. This net of delusion has overcome all of us. So, World Wide Web. That's why they called this. Even the scientists who found out, they called it web. Web means what? Net. So, delusory net. Yes or no? Some things are there. Basic things. Maybe you want to check email. That is fine. But people are there from morning to night. Get up in the morning. First thing they see mobile. Yes or no? I've seen this. Huh? What happened? My God. Okay. So, net of delusion. And Bhagavan is also told, Prasaktaha, Prakarshena Saktaha, deeply engaged. Exactly what is going to happen in Kali Yuga in this century, Bhagavan has already declared earlier. Completely engaged. So that's why today's children don't have even capable of mental mathematics. For some simple things, they'll take up and use a calculator is there in mobile itself. Earlier, calculator was separate. Now, all in one in mobile. So anything you want, they'll go to mobile. What is 1616? You'll have to go to 16 to 16. So like that, everything they have to go to the mobile, and that too. If you start with one, they lead you somewhere else. Yes or no? Is multiple device. Huh? So multiple capability. So prasaktaha, Bhagavan has warned very clearly, deeply engaged in what? Kama, kama bhogeshu, enjoyment of sense pleasures. That is why our rishis had put on a wonderful timetable from morning to night, what you should be doing. Other than other Yogaharam that is required, because for sustenance and living you have to work, all that is fine. Other than that, focus on dharma, anushtan, nitya karma, naimita karma from morning to evening. So what happens? There's no time to think about other things because you don't see why people who follow dharma anushtanam, they will not be enjoying all the sense objects. Yes or no? They will be next what? After this, what Japam should do, what karma to be done, what shastras to be studied. They'll keep the timetable very clear. But here, there's nothing to do. So, enjoyment of sense pleasures. And so, Bhagavan is saying, Patanti. Patanti means they fall. Patanam means what? They fall. Where? They may seemingly think that they achieved many things in this life. But Ashuchau Narake. So after this, because after this life, because in lot of papa karma, because of moha and ajnanam. Write down. Ajnana vimohitaha. That's a very important word. Because of ajnanam and vimohitaha, they do a lot of adharmic things, papa karmas. And so for a person who's done papa karmas, what is guaranteed? Write down Upanishad mantra. Brihadaranyaka mantra says wonderfully. Punyo vai punyena karmana bhavati papa papena. So, people who do papa karma will end up in the world of sins, hell. And that's why when your children, those days, I don't know now whether grandfathers or grandmothers tell their grandchildren that say, if you do anything wrong, if you do sins, after death, they will take you and put you in a boiling pot of oil. Yes or no? And you will be roasted. All that will create fear in children. Just to ensure that you don't do wrong things. But today, what punyam, what papam? Eh? Another way. Na punyam, na papam, na saukhyam, na dukkham. Acharya Shankara told in a different way. Go beyond punyam and papam. Here nowadays, no punyam, no papam. And so these people end up what? All the things you may chase. Say even Mahan told, you can do anything in this life. You can cheat people, you can deceive even the law enforcing agencies, you can do whatever you want. But after that, there is one supreme judge, Yamadharma Raja. You cannot bribe that fellow. You cannot bribe Yama and say that what? All my wrong things somehow hide. You cannot do that. He will what make sure that whatever we have done as per our karma, we are given the karma phalam. Write down. Yamasya karuna nasti. There is no way he is going to what express any pity. He will take the decision. So that's why people don't believe in what life after death. Something will happen after life. There's something called as punyam papam. Paralokam is there. Another janma is there. If that thing is very clear in the mind, will fear to any papa karma that is not there right now. And so they continue to behave in a very arrogant way. Sloka number 17. So how much Bhagavan is explaining? The Asuri Sampat people, Sri Bhagavanubhacha, Shloka 17. Atma Sambhavita Stabdhaha Dhanamanamadhanvitaha Ejante Nama Yajnaiste Dambhena Vidhipurvakam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Write down, it is Avidhipurvakam. It is not Vidhipurvakam. Avidhipurvakam. So, Atma Sambhavitaha, honored by themselves. So what they will do? They will organize some gathering, which is all pre-set up, and they will be honored by a set of people whom they have already appointed. So, self-appointed people publicly, the public may not know, but they will honor themselves. And honored by themselves, but honored by people whom they nominate. Tabdaha, these arrogant people. Dhanamana madanmitaha, dhanam, chasing always money, pretensions, haughtiness due to wealth. Then, te dambhena ijante. Sometimes what they do, they will also worship Bhagavan. Worship, they do all this, yajnas and all, big, yajnas they do. What for? For pretentiously worshipping Bhagavan. For what? Acquisition of wealth, position, power. Okay? Nama yajnehi, nominal yajnas. Mahaprabhu has mentioned separate portion in Daivatin Koral. How? There are special yajnas meant for certain things like this one to acquire wealth, position. There are yajnas to destroy other people also. Like that, there are, these yajnas have got different, very rarely. Okay, so through these nominal yajnas, how they do? Avidhi purvakam. They don't follow scriptural injunctions. They have their own rules, and so they use every possible means to attain their goal, fulfill their desires, which may be adharmic. So, what is the message? There are people like that in the world. First, we should avoid company with those people. You may come across them because of what? Professional what? Requirement. Sometimes you'll have to put up with them. But don't get ensnarled and keep company, because what happens? Once their company becomes stronger, we will get influence. So you have to keep them at a distance. So that is the main message, because we are all dharmic people. None of these are applicable to us. The message here is very clear. Avoid these people's company. Be away from them. Some of these things also, if we are going, if at all, if there is any wrong thought, nip it in the bud. Focus on following dharma, because following dharma increases punyam, and more punyam purifies the mind. A purified mind gets jnanam. Jnanam gets moksham here and now. Once you get moksham, no longer subject to these problems of birth and death again and again. Once again, Mahaprabhu was told in one place in Evatin Koral, if you actually look at the root cause of all the problems, you may say, because of this, because this person, this incident, this happening, this problem is there. The fundamental root cause is what? Because I'm born. Because I'm born, I got this physical body, I'm facing problems. So anybody who has got Deha Vadhyar Janardana, so the person who has got Deha, so that person cannot escape problems. So only way, permanent peace is getting moksham through jnanam. Let's pray to Bhagavan. So the Chaturmasim period is over. Vishwarupa Yatra yesterday also completed by Acharyas. Let's pray. Now, the next 15 days dedicated to Karmas, worshipping our forefathers. Very important to make sure that whoever is got the adhikaram, to make sure that we offer our rituals to this. And then after that, Navaratri. That continuously things keep coming, reminding us to be on the path of Dharma. For a follower of Dharma, there is no dearth of opportunities to follow dharmic activities. For dharmic people, any amount of opportunities they will not take. So let us take all the opportunity to do Dharma and get Shreyas in this life. ओम शांति 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 ही। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति 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 ही। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम तत्सत्। कृष्ण 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 शुभमस्तु। समस्त सन्मंगलानि भवन्तु। हरि ओम नारायण। We'll meet again on Saturday morning India time 7:30.